since the 19th century, I think Shakespeare has been an honorary American citizen. If you could read and write, you could probably afford, if you had the resources to learn those things, you could probably afford a couple of books. Those would have been the King James Bible and the works of Shakespeare. You look at the way people think and talk in the 19th century, Frederick Douglass or Abraham Lincoln, they would not have spoken the way that they did if Shakespeare and, for example, the King James Bible had not been, the books that went across America. They're portable. You think about this media platform, which is the Codex. What was the killer software? It was the plays of Shakespeare. And this was the right audience. North Americans were looking to those plays for wisdom. And I think someone like Abraham Lincoln is a really interesting case because he's absorbing all of this character and these studies, but he's also figuring out, here's how you use words to create suspense. And Frederick Douglass knows how to do this too. So I think a lot of our verbal DNA is embedded in Shakespeare, and it's embedded in this medium to which Shakespeare was ideally suited. The book was a very successful media platform and helped create the world that we live in today. The theater was too. And these two technologies, theatrical performance and the book, really open up all kinds of ways of thinking and experiencing the world. And a library like ours, we can tell the story of how a particularly visible writer like Shakespeare takes life in the professional theater and starts to reach people in all these new ways. But then someone transcribes these works and puts them into print. And this multiplies their lifespan. So it's a combination of the intrinsic interest of the way Shakespeare wrote, his luckiness to be around when he was, and these forms of communication that threw his words far and wide. And you come to a country like America where in the early period of this country, you're kind of decanting parts of European culture and they're mixing with indigenous culture. For some reason, Shakespeare does very well in that period. So we try to tell the whole story of Shakespeare, but Shakespeare, I think, is the tip of the iceberg. Our job is to tell the whole story of the humanities, from the rare documents that inspire scholars and teachers all the way through to the performances that bring those documents to life. That's what we're here for.